All right, guys, we're back again. PFREI, a passion for real estate investment. I'm your host, Fuquan Bilal. Be sure to check us out on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So today, we have a special guest in the house today, Mr. Bob Lachance. Now, Bob has been an active business owner and real estate investor since 2004. Bob is an entrepreneur by nature and currently owns, operates, and manages many different businesses around the world. Bob helped create one of the top real estate coaching and mentor programs in existence today, and also created one of the premier virtual assistant staffing companies, REVA Global LLC. Bob is an expert in the real estate investing space and has an incredible reputation for creation, implementation, and execution. Now, I'll let you tell the rest, but it's very important. Actually, I had a guest on, and we were talking about virtual assistants, so we'll talk a little bit about that. But the first question I always ask the guests in the show is, why are you passionate for real estate investing?
Well, the reason why I'm passionate about real estate investing is I retired from professional hockey for 8 years back in the day. So you could tell by the white spots on my beard and my head that I've been around for a long time. I got into real estate investing back in 2004. I left school about two classes early before getting my degree. So I figured, hey, let me look for an industry that does not need a college degree. So I found real estate. Real estate found me, and since 2004, I've hit the ground running.
That's awesome, awesome. So for the virtual assistants, we'll tell the group about your specialty. What did you specialize in, and what's the most thing? What are you doing the most now in the real estate realm?
Well, right now you'll see a natural progression with investors that have been around for a while. Right now, I'm doing buy and hold. Rehabs and wholesaling, but right now buy and hold. I just sold one of my commercial buildings. I invest in a couple syndications right now. I also bought a 3-family property in my backyard here in West Hartford, and also I dabble with wholesaling and rehabbing as well. But right now it's more of the buy and hold commercial, which you see. I'm sure you've had many people on here that have gone through the progression where it starts now towards the latter part of once you're in business 10 years, you start more buying and holding and saving for retirement. Now, I hate to say that, but I'm 45 years old right now, but my lens is way different than I was when I was 27, 28, 29 years old.
For sure, for sure. So now the flipping versus buy and hold, like I like the diversified approach. I trademark diversified hybrid real estate investing. I've been doing it for 20 years, long like yourself, and I've been through our market cycle tested.
Yep.
So we've been through a downturn, and we understand the importance of having a diversified. But you mentioned that you're doing some flips. Everybody's complaining, oh, the flips is a lot of work, and you got to deal with the contractors, and you make a small profit. I want to do rentals. I saw a post the other day. And what is your take on that? Because I still do flips. I think it's necessary. I think it just depends on your marketplace, the systems and processes that you have in place to make it not a full-time job for you. I mean, that's my opinion.
I agree 100%. But what I think that a lot of people miss is you have to start first with the end. You got to know how much you're going to sell that property before you even get into it, right? And then you start backing into it. So hypothetically, if you know the property is worth $100,000, right? You take a realtor commission off that if you're going to sell it with realtors, and you start backing in. First of all, you have to make sure you know your numbers. What that means is then you need to understand how to actually look at what a property costs to fix up, right? So you start obviously with there, you back in, then you could start building your contractor team. Contractors are tough. I'm going to be totally straight with you. Rehab on my 3-family right now. I had a couple contractors that didn't go all that well. It is what it is, part of the game. So you have to vet them right up front. I have a contractor team I couldn't use for this particular project, but that happens as well. But I think the biggest challenge right there is finding the right contractors. I'm sure you probably see the same thing as well in your market. Even seasoned investors, hey, you know what? That's just what happens.
I'm going to the bell because you said a bonus word. You said it's part of the game. Now, if you treat this like a game, it would be easier because it would be fun, right?
Yep.
Most people take it too serious and they get stressed out when they expect people to do as they would do, and they get their feelings hurt and then they get frustrated. So if you treat it like a game, then it becomes fun, right? So we know, I love contractors because they help continue to support the causes that I have going on as far as the flips and everything else and the things that I do. We need contractors. Contractors need us. So
Yep.
I'm not trying to bash any contractors, but it's very challenging to deal with them because they don't see our side. So one way to get around that is by doing a JV with a contractor, bringing them in on a deal, let them get a piece of the action, then they'll understand both sides and learn how to cut costs. Or performance contracts. You know, they tend to pay more attention, from my experience, to performance contracts. You don't execute, you don't get paid. You know, the inspections, everything else. So still, you can have all that in place, and it still could be craziness. I know, I get it. I've been 20 years, so I know it's perfect. But the residential flips versus the commercial stuff, I mean, are you doing a lot more commercial than you're doing residential? You're buying apartment unit buildings and playing the whole market. Talk about the marketplace you're in. Are you seeing?
Yeah, the syndication. I have two syndications that I invested in. One of them is in Raleigh, and the other one is in near Austin, out of Texas. So that's a syndication. The one that I just sold was a 10-unit building in Windsor, Connecticut, or Windsor Locks, Connecticut. And the other one I own, I have a used appliance company, and it's a standalone 2,000 square foot commercial unit that I own right now on the buy and hold side.
So you're using real estate for other businesses as well. You said you're an appliance company. You have real estate, and you are leveraging it by other businesses.
Yeah, you know what? I diversify, and the longer you're in the business, you probably understand this. The longer you're in the business, then you'll start a podcast, and then you'll use that to then get opportunities. You know, I read a book. I think I got it in this one. This is The Go-Giver. Really good book.
Yes.
This one and where is it? The Leader Shift by John Maxwell. There's a brand new one. But one of the things that's said in I believe is The Leader Shift. You are. I got to get this quote right. But you are two people. It was all about networking. And you're two people away from having a very good opportunity if you keep your eyes open, you keep networking, you keep building your sphere of influence. So I think that's a big takeaway that I think everybody should learn from, is that networking is extremely important. But you're only that's why you don't quit. You're 2-3 people away from really getting that opportunity that you are either looking for or that you need or want.
3 feet from goal. I'm loving it. So I actually love doing podcasts because I learned so much from the presenters, books, jewels, knowledge. So I'm addicted to the podcast thing because I feel like a student all over again, learning different strategies from different people. So what are some of the challenges that you're facing in your marketplace? We all can come on and open our shirt up with our Superman badge and say, we're doing it. But we go through challenges also. We're human beings. We have problems, issues. What are some of the challenges you're going through in your real estate business, or things that you see that was problematic that you were able to overcome and transition that?
And I think everything boils down to marketing for me, right? Well, one of them, obviously, we touched upon, you're always going to have some challenges with contractors. But again, like we said, that's part of the game. Marketing is obviously on the tip of everyone's tongue, right? Because there's something new every day. It's how you actually market and how you drive leads into your business. We're fortunate enough, for me, I own a virtual assistant company, so I use virtual assistants in my business to test things to see what works, what doesn't work, et cetera, right? So for me personally, I would say that finding the right marketing channel for your market to fulfill your pipeline of leads coming in it's always one of those things that's in my market, your market, everywhere around the country.
Yeah, so virtual assistants, let's touch on that because a lot of people utilize your company to get those resources as well. So what do your virtual assistant company do? Let's talk about that.
Yep. So virtual assistants, and one thing that I want to take a step back is people sometimes have a misconception about what virtual assistants do, right? And the thing is for our company, we have a lot of pride in what we do, and we set up our company. One of the things that we do offer, we offer our virtual assistants a robust benefit package. We offer them competitive pay. So we like to raise the bar in the industry. And the reason why we do that is because our virtual assistants have a high retention. They stay. They're more successful because of the things that we offer. We offer health insurance. We offer a dependent. The best health insurance out of the Philippines. So there's a lot of stuff that we offer them to be able to do that, right? So I just want to cover that real quick because we get a lot of questions on, what's the difference between the virtual assistants that we use in other companies. So that's just a 2-second rundown, but just going off of some tasks, I always break things up into 2 different things. It's either income producing tasks or non-income producing tasks when you look at your business. So I see you taking notes. That's great.
Absolutely. All
That's
the time.
That's right. No, that's awesome. So you have income producing tasks, non-income producing tasks. And the one thing I like looking at non-income producing tasks, those are tasks that if you're sitting on your butt, like you and I are doing, sitting on a podcast, right? Our income producing tasks tend to be network based, talking based, right? So basically, if you're meeting with sellers, meeting with agents, meeting with mortgage brokers, meeting with attorneys, right? Meeting with private money lenders, hard money lenders, bankers, we should be on our feet all the time, networking, going to masterminds, doing these podcasts, right? Just to build your business. The non-producing tasks are everything else. You should not be sitting by your phone, right? Literally sitting here by your phone, waiting for the phone to ring to get a motivated seller lead. You should not be on the phone outbound dialing to gauge seller motivation. You should not be on Craigslist posting ads on Craigslist looking for motivated sellers. You should not be scraping leads from Zillow, from Facebook Marketplace, from for sale by owners. All that stuff should be outsourced to a virtual assistant.
Yeah, and also the calls that are coming in, also the inbound calls that are coming in, the outbound calls that are going out, all of that.
Yeah.
So you can set someone up with a whole company of staff a whole company with different positions, key positions, to be able to generate those leads in, and then
Correct.
even a closer to bring it to the table, and you just think it happen.
Yeah, it's funny. I got an email from one of my buddies, and he's like, "Hey, Bob, you know what? I use this one company to take inbound seller leads," and he started breaking down the cost, right? The cost of hiring one virtual assistant through my company and then using the other company. He even broke it down. He said, "For X amount of money, I just do all direct mail, and I get about 165 leads coming in per month, right?" And he started breaking it down. He goes, "Great. This is the first time I ever heard this question." He goes, "What type of tasks can I have them do to where they don't also have to be outbound dialing at the same time?" Because what happens was he had a virtual assistant in the past, and as he was having the VA do other tasks, which was outbound dialing, he was missing calls coming in, right? So he said, "What kind of revenue generating activities can I have my virtual assistant do?" And I'm like, you know what? That's a freaking great question, right? Like, that's a phenomenal question. So I laid everything. I just gave some synopsis of what you could have your VA do is get a list, either scrape a list. Let's use Zillow as an example, right? You could pull Zillow leads either for sale by owner or rentals, right? I live in the Northeast here. So in the wintertime, people that can't get their properties rented, they may tend to want to sell their property, even if they're, say, for rent sign. So we have our VAs, and this is what I was telling this gentleman as well. You could scrape Zillow, you could have the VA skip trace, and you could text message them. So I have a whole Zillow system that we have our VAs going through with a response. The first text message, a response, and then what we do, the end goal is to try to get their email address so we could send them an offer. And we have a different cool kind of offer range to where we send a 65% to 80% of what that posted Zillow price is, because we give them a range. And the whole mindset there is that if we give somebody a range and the numbers are all off numbers, like for instance, 149,265.3, right, 0.30 cents, and between 169,000, et cetera, a seller or a homeowner is going to think, wow, they're really dialed in. They really know their numbers, right? So that's what we literally just started to do. I created it. I woke up at 2 in the morning. I kid you not, I woke up at 2 in the morning, and I'm like, I nail it, because I test things all the time to see what works and what doesn't. So I will report to you when I see you in person. I'll report to you, see how that's working.
All right, looking forward to that, man. Yeah, this is great information, because a lot of people have the mentality where they don't understand that leveraging virtual assistants is key. I had at one time a 12-person team in the office, and it was completely chaotic. I mean, I did everything I could, and it was me to come in with the positive, to keep everybody motivated and everything else. It was draining me. When I did actually 2.5 years ago outsource everything, I mean, a lot of the stuff, I mean, it was a big layoff, but then I had to keep the key people to learn how to communicate with the VAs and the vendors and everything else. And now we just manage data. You got to be hands-on. I can't outsource the data management to a VA because I need to check that.
Yep.
It ultimately boils down to the money, how much you're investing, spending, marketing, everything else. So that's key. And for those of you who may catch this podcast, you know, it's very important to leverage those virtual assistants. Let's talk about the cost now that goes with that, because versus paying someone, you know, $50,000-$60,000 a year salary to do the same type of responsibility a VA can do, maybe part-time, or, you know, a certain time that you have blocked out for them. Because I did a lot with Upwork also, because you have VAs that do marketing, graphic design, websites. Do your VAs do some of that? Websites, market design, everything?
Yeah, so that's what Upwork is great for, right? Upwork is great for project-based, right? We have part-time, full-time, and our costs are $10.60 an hour for part-time. There's no hidden costs, nothing. You're not going to get, so you're not going to get any upsells. You're not going to get any garbage like that. And full-time is $9.60 an hour, right? We pay for all of the taxes on the other side of it for all the virtual assistants. So no one has to pay any taxes on, you know, on people. So I had the same challenge that you had when you hire someone in-house, right? You're paying for what desk space, you're paying for phones, you're paying for, right? You're paying for taxes, insurance, you name it, et cetera, et cetera. So getting rid of all of that is huge. So that's just the cost of what our virtual assistants do. And we have part-time and full-time. We've tested other models, but Upwork is fantastic for this project-based, but part-time, full-time. We send them through an extensive training as well for real estate investing training as well. So when they come out and they actually get placed, we add a manager on top of that. We call them a client service manager to help manage that virtual assistant with you as well. So there's another layer of management that is totally funded by our company.
That's awesome, man. This is good stuff. People are so afraid to take that next level. I mean, let's talk about the privacy of that. And I don't want to keep harping on a virtual assistant, but I know one of your main businesses. But some people are you know, afraid to use virtual assistant because of the internal data that they have, whether it's banking information or private information of people, you know, through skip trace and stuff like that. What are some compliance things you have in place to make that business owner at ease and feel comfortable?
Well, everything's proprietary to you, right? So the way I look at a virtual assistant, and this is something I would highly recommend for everybody, look at them like they're sitting in your office. They are dedicated to you. So give them a company email address. So hypothetically, you know, they can't, now everything is contained. So you know who they're emailing, who they're not. Some of our VAs too, and some of our clients use a company called Time Doctor, where they actually have a camera on your computer, right? If some people want to do that, that's fantastic. I have a couple of VAs that I do the same thing with. I use Time Doctor for them. Right? So if everything's contained in your system, it's the same exact as them sit in your office. There's no difference.
That's awesome. Now, do you do contracts? My last question on the VA.
Absolutely, no problem, no problem.
You do contract work, or is it just, you know, a 6-month contract? Is it a lock-in? Or?
No, there's no lock-in. There's no lock-in. Here's why. We recommend that if you're going to obviously discontinue our service, that you give us a 2-week notice. The reason why we wanted 2 weeks notice is because so we could help place that virtual assistant, because they have a family as well. They have to make sure they support themselves as well, while we in my placements team can place them with a new client coming in. So
that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
That's all we have. So
it's like real work. It's like real work. You want to give your boss 2 weeks notice, they give you notice, everything else.
That's right.
Are we expected to pay any severance or anything? No, it's just
only if you want to. Only if you want to.
This is good stuff. You guys, if you are in the real estate business and you're looking to scale and you're looking for virtual assistants that have experience in real estate, oh man, definitely reach out to Bob and really utilize his service, because if you're dealing with someone who's managing VAs who's in the real estate realm, they've pretty much seen it all, done it all, from wholesaling to fix and flip to buy and hold. and everything else. So be sure to reach out to them. I want to give you the opportunity to plug your website, and then any information that we didn't cover, if you want to, let that be known as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's REVA Global, REVA Global.com, REVAGlobal.com. My email is bob@REVAGlobal.com. Any questions at all, you want to jump on a phone, have a strategy session to see how it best fits you, or if it even does. I'll be extremely transparent with you. I have a lot of individuals that call me that aren't ready for it today, and I'll let them know that, hey, listen, I don't recommend you start now. Maybe you could start in 2 to 3 months when ABC is done. I think it's way better to be transparent because not everybody's ready to start right now. When I sit with them and I talk to them and I analyze them, myself or my wife or Willie, who's on our team, sits with you, let's just say, and we analyze your business and we say, hey, here are the tasks to do. We together will make a decision whether you're ready or not, because your success is our success. If you're not successful in what you do and using our services, it's a lot more negative than positive. So that's the way I always look at it. We do turn away some clients because they're not ready, because we look at, like I said, in real estate, it's the long game. It's the marathon. If you're in business to get a quick dollar, you're going to be out of business quicker than you even got into business. That's one of the things I've learned over the years investing as long as I have.
Yeah, that's great stuff, man. Another great episode, guys. This is really good because this is a tool everyone needs. Definitely appreciate you coming on and sharing your journey and experience with us in this real estate world. Thanks for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.